Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Today, we are talking about AI, artificial intelligence, and specifically how it can help you build your WordPress website and how it can help you make that whole website building process easier and automate some workflows for you to make your life easier. So before we jump into that, there's a few housekeeping things that we want to cover first. First, the question that we get answered most on all of these webinars. Yes, these will be recorded and sent out to everyone that registered. So if you have to drop off early at any point, don't worry about it. We'll send you out a recording. You can watch this as many times as you'd like at whatever speed works best for you. Second, if you tune in from an audio or a mobile device, you'll have to unmute the stream. So you should be able to click anywhere on the video and unmute the stream, and that should allow you to receive some audio. The other thing I want to talk about is we will be answering questions. I'll actually be off screen answering questions throughout the duration of the webinar. So find the chat box, tell us where you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear what areas of the world people are joining us from. And if you have any questions, we obviously want to hear those as well. So next to the chat box, there is a tab for Q&A. So please don't hesitate to drop those in. Occasionally, if we see a question hit the chat field, we will move over to the Q&A just so we can have a little bit of a back and forth when we're responding to your question. So if you ask a question in the chat and you see it disappear, it's simply that we're just relocating it to the Q&A section. So before we jump into it, I should have said this at the beginning. We are joined by Marcus Burnett. We're thrilled to have him here today. I'll let him give himself a little bit of an intro, but we are here to talk about AI and website building, and we're thrilled to have you join us today.
Thanks, Devin. I do want to spend most of the time looking at demos for some of the different tools that people will want to use for their agencies, but let's start with a few slides just to kind of set the groundwork. This is Leveraging AI in WordPress, a practical guide for web professionals. My name is Marcus Burnett. I am the Senior Manager of Strategy and Customer Experience here at Bluehost. I was a senior designer and developer for a small agency here in the Orlando, Florida area where I live for just over 10 years using WordPress. I've worked in WordPress support, marketing, customer experience, and hosting for the last 5 years, and I've dabbled in AI quite a bit over the last couple of years as it's come onto the scene. I'm the creator of the WP World, which is a WordPress community networking site, and the curator of WP AI Universe, which is a site dedicated to WordPress tools and resources when it comes to AI. So these are some of my favorite tools down here at the bottom for working with AI and WordPress. We'll look at a few of them and talk about a couple as well, but they are ChatGPT, Midjourney, Jetpack, Bluehost, Yoast, Elementor, and DocSpot. So let's talk about the rise of AI in web development just a little bit. AI has shifted from hype to practical tools over the last couple of years, really from kind of the end of 2022, 2023, to enhance productivity, creativity, and decision-making. Tools powered by AI are now integrated into everyday web design and development workflows, like we'll talk about, probably built into some of the tools you're already using. If you're using like the Microsoft Office suite, there are some AI tools built in there. Same goes for Google Suite as well. 35% of businesses are actively using AI in their operations. Again, some of that is really by default with some of the tools from Microsoft and Google having some of that built in already. AI-driven web development platforms are projected to grow by 20% annually, and tools like ChatGPT, Jasper, and Midjourney are transforming creative workflows for designers and developers. We're actually going to look at ChatGPT and Midjourney. Jasper is a WordPress plugin that allows you to create some content within your WordPress site as well, but we won't look at that one in this particular presentation. So why is AI adoption growing? It's primarily for these 4 reasons. There are efficiency gains to be had by using AI. AI automates repetitive tasks like content creation, image generation, and code suggestions, which we'll look at. Improved creativity. AI can assist in brainstorming ideas, generating layouts and refining designs. Generally speaking, AI is not going to come up with something that hasn't been done before, but it's definitely going to extend what creativity you may have out of the box, and allow you to kind of enhance and extend what you are already doing. Enhanced personalization. AI tools help tailor user experiences based on behavior and preferences, allowing AI tools to come in and see what visitors and customers of your site are doing and then tailor the experiences there. Will help with a more personalized experience. And data-driven insights. AI tools provide actionable insights to improve website performance, SEO, and engagement. We'll look at some of that as well. So really, the takeaway here is that AI isn't about replacing designers or developers, or more broadly, marketers or content writers, or really any of the roles. It's about amplifying their abilities and giving them tools to work smarter, faster, and more creatively. Essentially, AI is another tool in the tool belt, like many of the other tools you already use. So here are kind of the 4 buckets, an overall overview of AI tools for web professionals. Here are kind of the 4 different buckets that I've decided to put AI into that kind of covers the majority of ways that you would use AI within your agency, or to help build websites. So 1, content creation and ideation, tools like ChatGPT and Jasper. Maybe you've heard of also Claude or Perplexity or Google's Gemini. Those are all content generation and ideation tools. 2, image generation and enhancement. Midjourney does imagery. DALL-E, which is actually a part of ChatGPT, also does some image generation, and there are lots of other image generation tools out there as well. Customer support and automation to help with just that, customer support, some AI-powered chatbots or automated email responders. And 4, workflow automation, things like Zapier, Make, and Bitflows, which take automated workflows and inject AI to kind of help enhance those workflows a bit. And I'll show an example of that in just a few minutes. So first, we'll get to our first demo in just a second here. We'll talk about content creation and ideation. Again, I've listed some tools here: ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Cursor, and Bolt. Cursor and Bolt are more on the development side of things, writing code. Content generation and ideation refers to generating ideas for blog posts, rewriting content in a different style, providing tags and categories, even writing some code snippets. So let's hop into ChatGPT and I'll show you a little bit about how we can look at generating blog article ideas, creating a table, doing some reformatting of content, and even generating a code snippet. Okay, so here I have ChatGPT open. If you've used ChatGPT before, this will probably look kind of familiar to you, and it is mostly just an open input box in the middle of the screen asking you where to start. So for the first example, we're going to look at maybe generating some blog post ideas if you're an agency that does marketing for restaurants. So to save us some time and also to save you from listening to me type around on the keyboard, I'm going to paste a few things in and then we'll go over it. So the first thing that we want to do is set the tone for ChatGPT to let it know what perspective to look at this prompt through. So I've put in, you are an expert content marketer with 30 years experience in the hospitality industry. You've won many awards for your creative, out-of-the-box blog article ideas, and your search engine expertise is second to none. What we want to do here is prime ChatGPT to kind of come at the rest of this prompt from a particular perspective, and this is how we're going to set the stage. So the next thing that we want to do is actually ask ChatGPT for the thing that we're looking for. So please give me 10 interesting restaurant blog article topic ideas for my web agency focused on restaurant marketing. So I could just leave it at that. I could hit enter. We would get 10 interesting blog article topic ideas, but I don't really know what the output is going to look like. Are we going to get ideas? Are we going to get some summaries with those ideas? Are we going to get, is this going to be formatted in a bulleted list? Are we going to get some emojis? What kind of tone? So I want to always add some extra context to the prompt as well. So once we've done that, I'm going to say article ideas should include a title, one sentence description, up to 3 keywords, and the ideal URL slug. And a lot of that, if you're, an agency that focuses a lot on SEO, will understand the keywords in the ideal URL slug are going to be super helpful in making sure to position the blog article as you'd like it to be when it's published. So the goal for the articles is to rank high in search engines and also entice the reader to hire our agency for their restaurant marketing needs. So just to kind of recap before I hit enter here, we've set the tone for how we want ChatGPT to approach this prompt. We've then asked ChatGPT exactly what we're looking for. We want 10 interesting blog article ideas. And then we've provided some additional context for those to say, here's exactly the format that I would like you to output when you give me those 10 blog article topic ideas. So let me go ahead and hit go, and we'll let ChatGPT think for a moment and start giving that to us. So ChatGPT will just go ahead and get started. Let's take a look at some of the ones that we've got going here. 10 creative restaurant marketing ideas to attract more diners. You can see that it's given us a 1-sentence description, just like we asked. Discover innovative strategies that successful restaurants are using to boost visibility, increase reservations, and grow their loyal customer base. We've got keywords, restaurant marketing ideas, attract more diners, boost restaurant sales, and then we have a URL slug that it recommends it being /restaurant marketing ideas. And we should have 10 here. I'll just kind of scroll through some of these and see how to design a restaurant website that converts visitors into customers, SEO for restaurants. Now, these are all going to be articles that you would publish as an agency on your blog to show expertise in the restaurant marketing field. The ultimate guide to Google business profile for restaurants, how restaurants can leverage Instagram, 5 email marketing strategies. Let's say I like this one. Let's say I want to go with 5 email marketing strategies every restaurant should use. That seems like it would be great for my agency. We're really into email marketing strategies right now. So let's tackle this one. That's number 6 here. Now, ChatGPT, the whole chat part is that you can then continue to converse with ChatGPT, adding your own message at the bottom here. And all of this content that it's provided, plus your prompt that you provided, will be factored into the answer here. So you can kind of keep going back, and the context of the entire conversation is held for you. So let's remember this is topic number 6, and I'm going to say, I love the idea of topic number 6. Would you please, and I always make sure to say please and thank you, would you please give me an outline for that blog article? And I'll hit enter. Outline, and see it remembers number 6 because the entire context is there. We've got an intro, briefly introduce the power of email marketing for restaurants, highlight email marketing, and it continues on down. We've got an example for a call to action. Our agency specializes in helping restaurants build thriving email campaigns that drive bookings. So here within the blog article, it's even offering you a way to show a call to action. And then it's going to go ahead and break down those 5 email marketing strategies. So we've got section 1, build a robust email list. Section 2, personalize your emails. Section 3, master the art of irresistible subject lines. Section 4, design eye-catching emails. And section 5, automate and schedule. And then it gives us a conclusion, a final CTA example, letting folks know that they should contact your agency again. So not only did it give me some really great ideas up here, but once I find an idea that I like, I can also go ahead and have it give me an outline of how to structure each of these sections. What are the 5 email marketing strategies, and how can I break those down into even more content? And it even has some pro tips that it's offered. One more that I'll ask it. what is a bonus item that I can offer at the end of this article to drive leads? And it's, again, in context of we're having a conversation about the article, not the 10 that we asked for before, but this article. So a great bonus to include at the end of this article could be a free restaurant email marketing starter kit. And it gives you some things that could be included in the starter kit, the call to action that you could share at the end, and lets you know how the starter kit aligns perfectly with the article's content. So right there, I've shown you how, as a marketing agency for restaurants, and again, you can fill in the blank here. It doesn't have to be restaurants. It can be any niche, or even leaving it a little bit more generalist, but giving you 10 topic ideas and then drilling down from those 10 topic ideas even to get an outline for one of those topics, and then even a couple of call to actions and some sort of lead generation device that you can use at the very end. Now let's take another quick look at a couple more use cases for ChatGPT for your business. I have another prompt here that I'm going to copy. This time I'm not going to give it a whole lot of perspective because I don't really need it to, but I'm just going to ask it to please give me a table of the top 15 most popular WordPress agency plugins. The first column should be the plugin name, the second column a one-sentence description, and the third column a link to the plugin's website. So let's just go ahead and hit go and see what we get. As you can see, it searches the web and then comes back with the top agency WordPress plugins that it could find. So we have a list, Yoast SEO, Elementor, WP Forms. We've got a description for each of these plugins. So if there's one in the list that you may not be familiar with, you have a little bit of a description of what it is, and then a link to each of the websites so you can learn more. And as I scroll down, you can see that we have exactly 15, and it gives us a little summary at the end. These plugins are widely recognized for enhancing website functionality, security, performance, and search engine optimization, making them valuable tools for agencies managing WordPress sites. And it'll open up in the sidebar here the sources of where it found that information. So you can feel free to comb through that and check to see how legitimate you feel any of those sources are. So we have our list of 15, and I quickly just wanted to show for some of the developer nerds out there how easy it is, if you have something like this, to convert it to different formats. So I'm going to say, please convert this table into a JSON object, creating appropriate key value pairs. And when I hit enter, you'll see it does a pretty quick job of taking that table of 15 and turning it into a JSON object for the developers. The point being, I don't think that this particular list would be all that helpful as a JSON object, but if you did have a table of information up here or a CSV that you wanted to give ChatGPT, one of the things that it does very well is converting formats of data from one to another. So you can see that it's gone ahead and created that entire table as a code snippet. So I just wanted to show you that real quick as well. And then we'll hop into our final example. Finally, let's look at adding a code snippet to a WordPress website for those of you that may not be coders, developers, leveraging ChatGPT's ability to write code to give you some content or settings or whatever you might need to customize your WordPress site. So again, this time I'm going to start with providing a perspective. You are an expert WordPress developer with 10 years experience writing custom themes and plugins. You follow WordPress coding standards and always make sure that your code is secure and accessible. If you're going to ask ChatGPT for code snippets frequently, I would recommend even taking something like this and making it a text expander snippet, something that you can quickly paste in anytime that you want to hop over to ChatGPT and ask it for some WordPress code. This is pretty solid. WordPress has been around for 20 years, so asking it for 30 years of WordPress experience won't help. I went with 10 because I felt like that'll keep it in the more modern era of WordPress code, but also asking it to follow coding standards and make sure that the code is secure and accessible is always a good idea. This particular code snippet that I'm going to ask it for may not be the most helpful, but it's really just more proof of concept to kind of show you what ChatGPT is capable of doing. So I'm going to ask it to write a code snippet that gives me a WordPress shortcode with the following data: the current date, my IP address, but I'm going to have it obscure the first two numbers of the IP address, the current page's ID, and a random number between 1 and 999. So there's a lot of different things going on there. That was the point. The point is I want it to do something that shows that it can grab the server date, that it can grab the IP address of where I currently am. It can grab some information from the actual WordPress page that it's on, so from the WordPress software itself, and then just something completely random, a random number between 1 and 999. So let me go ahead and hit go on this, and it should generate a code snippet for us after it thinks for a moment on what it wants to do. So now it's telling us, here's what we're going to do, and it starts to write the code snippet for you. So the code snippet has been generated. I'm going to hit the copy up here, and I'm going to hop over to a site that I've already set up. Oh, you can see that it's already going on there, but we're going to show you where to do it. I'm using a plugin called Code Snippets to go ahead and add this to the site. So I'll hop over to the snippets section. You can see this is my test to make sure that that would work before. I'm going to add a new one. I'm going to paste this in. And I'm going to give this a title, just something custom code snippet for webinar. And let's save this and activate it. Everything looks good. If I hop back over to ChatGPT here and I close this to get back to our chat, it also will tell us how to use it down here underneath. So if I add this shortcode, custom info, anywhere inside of WordPress, it will display the date, the IP, the page ID, and the random number, just like we've asked. So let me hop back over here to pages. I'll add a new page. We'll call this, let me close that out. We'll call this webinar custom snippet. We'll get ourselves a shortcode block here, and we'll simply paste that shortcode in that ChatGPT gave us. I'll hit publish, and then we'll view the page and the IP address with the two first numbers obscured. The page ID of this page is page 13, and if I hover over edit page, I can see that that is 13 and a random number of 189. If I refresh this, you'll see that the random number changes each time. And you can continue, as we talked about before, adding to this conversation if you wanted to change some of the information that's shown here, or make modifications. Say you want to change the random number from between 1 and 999 to 1 and 9,999. You could continue here by asking ChatGPT to do just that. Instead of a random number between 1 and 999, please update to choose one between 1 and 9999. And when I hit enter, it will update the code that it generated before. And as you can see here, it's updated this from 999 to 9,999. And you can copy this code and paste it back in. So that's how you would use ChatGPT to do different things within WordPress and for your WordPress agency. Another way that we can talk about content generation is actually image generation, or even image editing using AI's help. Image generation and enhancement refers to the creation or manipulation of imagery to convey the idea you want to show. These can be created from nothing, use a reference image, or simply be smaller modifications to an existing image. We're going to use Midjourney to show how you can generate an image from scratch and why you might want to do that. And also generating an image from a reference photo. And this could be helpful for something like creating lifestyle photos for a WooCommerce store. And then I'll also show you how you can use Photoshop to enhance images that are already in existence using Photoshop's built-in AI enhancement tools. Okay, let's take a look now at what we can do for AI image generation with a site called Midjourney, an AI software called Midjourney. Midjourney is used to create AI generated imagery. That could be from scratch. That can be from a reference image. It can be from a number of things. To get started, you will need to go to midjourney.com and sign up for an account there. I believe you do get a certain number of free image generations, but I am on the $10 a month basic plan that allows me to do faster image generations and roughly 200 a month. And that also, to use any of the images commercially, you will also have to sign up for a paid plan. That being said, if your paid plan runs out, you decide not to renew, any of the images that you generated while you had the plan are still able to be used for commercial terms. So if you just sign up for a month and you generate all the images that you need, then you're good to go. So just wanted to put that out there for you. I'm going to hop back over here. The first thing that I want to look at is let's say that we're opening or creating a website for a company that is a startup in the outdoor equipment space. Let's say like camping gear, tents, fire starting equipment, that kind of stuff. And we just want to quickly come up with a coming soon landing page for that. And we want to have some nice imagery to show. Let's say the company is in Denver. So what we're going to start with here is we're going to have AI generate us a family camping in the mountains of Colorado. They're going to be eating breakfast at sunrise, and I want this to be a photorealistic image. There is definitely an art form to creating prompts for Midjourney. In this case, I don't claim to be an expert on the absolute perfect way for Midjourney prompts to be structured. I will say that from experience, the more detail that you give Midjourney, the closer it will be to the vision that you might have in your head, but also the less creative Midjourney will be with your prompts. So if you keep it shorter, Midjourney will take more liberties in making it slightly more creative for you. But if you don't want that and you really want to narrow down what it is that you want to see in the image, then put as much detail as you possibly can. So I'm going to just stick with this and let it be fairly creative. Remind me later. And I'm going to hop over here to create, where it is starting to put this together. So right now it's at 35% complete, and it is generating an image for me. And that's 100% complete. These are pretty good. I like this one. What I really want though is I want something to be a little bit wider. So let's go back and we're going to rerun. Well, we're not going to rerun. Well, it'll rerun, but we're going to use that same prompt And we're going to put in --AR for aspect ratio. And I'm going to say 16 by 9s for something really nice and wide. If you open up the settings, there are also some settings in here where you can change. I'll change this to landscape. You can change the stylization, the weirdness, the variety. There are lots of settings that you can play with to really get creative with your image generations, but I'm just going to stick with those for now. And I'm going to let it regenerate some wider images. These are also all really great. I think if I was going to set up a coming soon page, maybe I would go with something like this. Got a family, you see the mountains, it's a pretty sunrise. So let's go ahead and download that. I'll just save that to my desktop. Let's hop in here just to kind of give you an idea. We'll create a new page and we'll actually use one of these patterns. Here's a coming soon pattern. I can come up here and replace, upload an image. We're going to find that camping image, and you can change the contents of what's said here. I'm just going to call this coming soon and hit publish. We'll view the page, and there you go. Now you have a nice coming soon image that's representative of the outdoors and the gear that's going to be sold, and you can move on. That's obviously very useful for headers for pages in a site. That's useful for adding imagery to blog posts if you want to pick pieces of the blog post and generate images based on the content there. Just adding imagery throughout, that's a really great way to do that as well. The other thing that Midjourney does well is using reference images. So let's say in this example, I want to take this furniture set and I want to give it some surroundings. Let's say I have a WooCommerce store, or one of your clients has a WooCommerce store. They sell outdoor patio furniture and they want to have some lifestyle photos, but all you have is kind of these studio shots with the actual furniture on a white background. That's great. We can add some life to those. So we'll hop back over to Midjourney. I'll go back to create and you'll see the little image icon up here. And that allows you to add a reference image. So I've already downloaded this furniture image and added it here to Midjourney. So I'm going to add it as the reference photo. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit of additional context for this particular photo to let it know what I want. So first thing you do, always include the actual item inside of your prompt. Even though you're offering a reference image, Midjourney still wants to know what the item is and how it's supposed to place it in the scene. So I added luxury poolside patio area with wicker patio furniture. That includes 2 chairs and a sofa and a table. And I'd like some romantic lighting, and I'd like it to be photorealistic. I've also added an image weight in this case. The default is 1, and I was having some issues when I was testing this out before where it would add a fire pit to the table, like a tableside integrated fire pit, and I didn't want that. I want it to stick a little bit more close to the original photo. And so in this case, I upped the image weight, that's what the IW stands for, to 1.5 to get it to stay a little bit closer, a little bit truer to the image. And you'll have to play with that a little bit to decide how strong you want to make the image weight. So I landed on around 1.5. Let's go ahead and hit, make sure we're in landscape here. Everything else is great. I'm going to leave it as is, and I'm going to hit go. And we will see what we get from that. Over here, you can see it gives you all of the information. And we have it loading into a scene, which is looking actually pretty good in all of these. So let's kind of look through these real quick and see which one's the best. That one's not too bad. We've got kind of an outdoor space looking indoors behind. I kind of like this one with the hedge behind, nice and clean. Maybe like a resort patio there. What else do we have? That's staring straight into a bedroom. And this one's got a gate of some kind. I kind of like this one. We have some white stripes on the top and bottom. That's because of the white background in the image. And in the next bit here, I'm going to show you how to clean this up with Photoshop. So let's go ahead and download this photo, and then we will hop into Photoshop and take a look at how to clean the rest of that up using Photoshop's AI capabilities. All right, I've opened that image up in Photoshop, and of course, the first thing that you could do is you could crop this, and that would be kind of the normal thing that most people, I think, would have done in the past without Photoshop's AI, and that's a perfectly great photo. You could save that, you could add that to the WooCommerce store and have a pretty good lifestyle photo of what this furniture looks like in its surroundings. But I'm going to undo that, and we're going to actually use Photoshop's AI to kind of round the rest of this photo out. So I'm going to select this white space up here, making sure to kind of overlap a little bit on top of the regular image, and that will just help the AI blend it in better. I'm going to hit generative fill, and if I wanted it to just give its best shot at what it thinks should be up there, I could just leave this blank, but I'm actually going to put arch because I kind of want this doorway to arch back here. I think that would look really great. So let me put in arch. I'll hit generate. It doesn't generally take too long, but it does take a few moments for the progress bar to generate. It's got to go off to the cloud with the photo and decide what fits best there. That looks pretty good. It does come back every time with 3 different options. They're over here in the side panel, so I can click through that one. Also not bad. Or this one. This one looks a little off in the corners, especially with this lighting, so I think 1 or 2 were the best. I think I'm going to stick with 2. I kind of like this. I like the high arch. So we'll leave that for the top. At the bottom here, what I'd really like to see is kind of the edge of a pool. Like this furniture is sitting right on the edge of a pool area. So I'm going to put swimming pool edge. My assumption would be if I didn't put anything in here that it would just extend this tile to the bottom, and that would look fine too, but I want it to be a little bit more creative and have a swimming pool edge there, just like the furniture is sitting right on the edge there in a resort type setting. So let's let that go ahead and finish. Not bad already. Again, we have 3 variations, so we can kind of walk through them. Also not a bad option, and also not a bad option. A little interesting going from the water to the tile here, so let's see. I don't love whatever's under the water here. I think it attempted to do reflections of the furniture, but it didn't quite nail that. So I'm just going to stick with this. It's kind of easy and simple, and we'll go with that. The last thing that I want to do, just to kind of show off the capability here, I love that there's some trees and stuff back here, but it looks a little stark right behind the furniture. So I'm actually going to grab the lasso tool, and I'm just going to draw kind of a rough shape over. I don't want to go in front of the light, but I do want to go behind the chair. So I don't want to pick very much of the chair here, or it'll try to override what I have going on with the chair. Just this little section over here in the corner that kind of looks like it's behind the chair. I'm going to hit generative fill, and I'm going to type in ficus plant and just let it generate a plant back there in the background. Again, we'll get 3 options, so we'll kind of be able to pick and choose. If you don't like any of the 3 options, there's a regenerate button or the generate button where you can continue to generate more options. Well, let's see what we got. That one's not too great. That one's not great. This one's all right. I'll stick with that one for now, and we'll do another one over here on this side. I'll kind of draw the same basic shape kind of in and behind this chair, and generative fill, and again type in ficus plant and hit generate. And what you'll notice is all of this is taking the original photo and it's matching the lighting, it's matching the mood and the coloring of the photo. You can see on this plant even over here that it recognizes that it's next to a light source, so there's a little bit of light hitting off the leaves. Same on this side, next to this light source, you can see the light reflecting off the leaves. So Photoshop is doing a really good job of matching the the AI generated items to the image itself. So I'm going to leave it at that and deselect everything here. And that's kind of our final image for Photoshop. We went from, let's see if, back to the beginning here, we went from this, filled in the white stripes at top and bottom, and added some plant life, and ended up with this image. Another way that we can talk about AI is through customer support and automation. Customer support and automation refers to the practice of allowing custom-trained AI program answer basic support questions, freeing up support staff to tackle more advanced needs. And it's not a demo for this one, but I do have a couple of tools here that I mentioned up at the top: TalkSpot AI and your GPT. The one that I would recommend is DocSpot AI right now, and it integrates with your help desk software, whatever that may be. It integrates with lots of different help desk softwares. You can also upload files and documents, and even import a WordPress XML export of your site or sitemap into the bot to train it on all of your content and your resources. And that way, when you ask questions, it is pulling that information directly from the sources that you've given. And that'll allow it to provide the most accurate information for your business specifically, for your agency, or for your clients' businesses, and also help free up support for other tasks. The last bucket here is workflow automation, and that's going to be things like Zapier, Make, Bitflows. These allow you to enhance your current processes by adding AI software into the mix to help define and clarify the output. It can modify the result directly or guide automated flows down different paths. And so here I have an example of how Zapier and WordPress together can be used for automating some social posts based on a new blog post, and how AI factors into the mix here. So for example, a new post might be created in WordPress. That's sent to Zapier. That's triggered to send the post content to OpenAI, which is the AI portion of this. It takes that content and creates different social posts for Twitter, Blue Sky, maybe Instagram, maybe Facebook, any of the different social platforms. And the way that each of those social platforms handle or the way that they want content is going to be different. Instagram very image focused, or Twitter very text focused, and the audiences are different. So you can tweak each of those posts to be created for a specific audience. And then those posts can automatically be posted by Zapier back to the platforms. And then maybe a Slack message can be sent that gives you all the links to the different posts. And so all you had to do there in that example is create the new post. And then this workflow will create all of the social posts for you once you have it set up. And OpenAI is taking care of taking the blog post content and turning it into social posts for you. I have a couple of sites here, and I'm going to go through these kind of quickly just because we're a little bit short on time. But the first site that I have open here is one of my Bluehost Cloud sites, and that comes with Yoast SEO Premium. And so I wanted to show kind of the AI features there. So if I go to the settings here in my Yoast SEO Premium, you can see Yoast AI is over here and it's toggled on. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that works in this site. First, I'm going to head over to the posts. Actually, all of it's going to be within the context of this post. If you remember from our earlier example, ChatGPT gave me an outline for 5 email marketing strategies every restaurant should use to boost bookings. Well, I wouldn't recommend this, but I had one of the AI softwares go ahead and generate an article for me, and I just pasted that content in here. Now, I don't think that that's a good idea because it's just not very personal. It sounds like a robot wrote it, and Google is working on tools to crack down on AI generated content, so there's a good chance that this also ends up hurting you and your search engine rankings in the long run. So don't do that. At the point where you're at an outline from ChatGPT, go ahead and write the article from there using the outline, and that's perfectly fine. A couple things that I want to show here. If I open up the Yoast Premium tools here, let me see. Click on Yoast. There we go. Get them open. What you'll want to do first is go ahead and toss in the focus key phrase. In this case, we're looking at restaurant email marketing. And we can go ahead and use AI here to generate an SEO title. I would generally recommend to leave this as is, the page title structure. This is kind of a long heading, long title for an article. So let's just hit use AI and see what other potential options we have here from Yoast AI. Yoast AI gives you 5 potential options: restaurant email marketing to boost customer loyalty, restaurant email marketing strategies for success, engage your customers. Now this is just going to show here in the preview on your Google search. And any one of these, as it shows the title width is a little bit better than what we had before. And so you can choose any of these and you can hit apply SEO title. You can also generate 5 more if none of these are good for you. So let me hit generate 5 more, and we can see a lot of them again are going to start with restaurant email marketing because that's what we put in for our keywords. And you could choose one of these and hit apply. I'm actually going to leave this where I find this to be more helpful is in the meta description. And so I'll hit use AI here. And what Yes AI will do is it will give us some meta descriptions for this particular article. I'm not going to go through these and determine which one might be the best, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave this first one. If I hit apply meta description, it goes ahead and it tosses that into the meta box for us. So let's go ahead and hit save on that, and we'll look at the other Yoast AI piece, and that is under the SEO analysis. It looks like under key phrase distribution, very uneven. Large parts of text do not contain the key phrase or its synonyms. So restaurant email marketing, though this is what this article is about, doesn't seem to be in the article itself very much. And so we can hit this optimize with AI button, and what will happen is it'll take this content from the article and it will send it off and do some optimization recommendations. It won't actually do it for you until you approve the changes. And so we'll wait for this to get done. And as you can see, just right in line, it's found some places within the content where you could add restaurant email marketing as a key phrase that will help boost the search engine rankings for this page for that search. And so there's a few places it'll both insert it or show you where you can replace a couple of words and change the sentence structure a little bit to get that in there. And when you're happy with it, then you can hit apply, and it'll auto save. I'll save it again anyways. And now AI has helped optimize this article for those keywords. So those are the Yoast AI pieces. And now I want to show you finally, as kind of the last example, Bluehost's newer Wondersuite AI onboarding process. And so I'm going to open a new site. I just added this site to my hosting, so I've done absolutely nothing with it. And the first thing that comes up is it asks me if I wanted to use the AI site creator, do a guided website setup, or import a WordPress site. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the site creator. And what it'll ask me for is a description of the business. Now, As before, I've gone ahead and typed this out just so you don't have to watch me type, and that way I don't misspell anything. But I've decided to come up with an outdoor gear and adventure company based in Bend, Oregon, dedicated to helping hikers, campers, and explorers discover their next great adventure. The site will feature curated gear collections, trail recommendations, and a blog sharing outdoor survival tips, gear reviews, and inspiring tales from the wilds. And the store is called Forests and Found. Full disclosure, I also asked ChatGPT to come up with this prompt for me and make up a outdoor company. So that is what I got from ChatGPT. I'll hit next. It'll ask for a logo, and on brand, I asked ChatGPT to go ahead and create a logo for me. So I have a logo for Forests and Found, and I will go ahead and toss that in as well. And it's asking me how familiar I am with using WordPress. I'm just going to go ahead and hit intermediate for this one. And what you'll see happen is it'll go ahead and after a few seconds start generating 3 different versions of the site that it thinks might be a great fit for me for my Forests and Found outdoor company. Now I really like this one, seems a little bit simple for me. I really like this one in the dark color with the photos. I really like the simplicity of this one too. If you don't like any of them, you can simply regenerate, or if you want kind of different versions, like let me heart versions 2 and 3 because I really like those. I'm going to hit regenerate on this one and it'll generate one more. And that one looks very similar to this one, although there are some differences in the navigation and all of that. But I really like this one. So I'm actually going to go ahead and hit preview, and it'll allow me to go ahead and view everything before I commit to using this one. I really like this textured background. It's come in with some visuals that very much match Bend, Oregon and the outdoor theme. And it's even gone ahead and written some content for me. There are going to be reviews on the site, so there's a sample review here. And quality gear, expert advice, community support. These are all the things that I added in the prompt were things that I wanted to highlight in this site. So you can also hit customize, and that'll allow you to customize the colors and the fonts to some degree before you get started. So really checking out kind of this title and the button is where most of that will happen. You can see as I click these, the button color kind of changes. I'm going to stick to the one that I had at the very beginning. I like that. And we can also check out these different fonts. I think Oswald actually looks like a really great outdoor font. So I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to hit save and continue. And the last thing I really want to show is that what's being generated here is a multi-page site that is built using native WordPress, the block editor. And so once I get in here and it loads, I will go to the front end. Yep, it drops me in my admin. If I go to the front end and I hit edit page, you'll see that this is just using the normal WordPress blocks, columns, headings, all of that, and is ready for you to edit it in any way. So I can change any of these to your outdoor, reviews and adventure guide, and hit save, and that'll be done. And that's the Bluehost AI onboarding process. Essentially, AI is transforming WordPress marketing and development, offering powerful tools that can save time, boost creativity, and improve client outcomes. My advice is to embrace AI as an assistant, not a replacement. Start small, experiment, and find the AI solutions that best fit your workflow. All of these slides can be found at embernet.com/AI-slides. Feel free to connect with me in any of these places here, Twitter or Blue Sky. If you have any questions, feel free to message me there. My DMs are open on both. Or you can contact me through the embernet.com contact form as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marcus. That was super informative. I learned a lot. I think a lot of people in the audience learned a lot as well. And again, thank you everyone who joined today and engaged with us. We really want to be part of your website building journey. So if there's any questions you have, please don't hesitate to drop them. There were a few questions that I thought would be beneficial for everyone, or that I didn't know the answers to. So let me just rattle some of those off to you, Marcus. And if you don't mind giving us a little bit of a response, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, of course.
So the first question, someone asked, what are the downsides? Are there any risks if I'm using AI in building my WordPress website?
Yeah, good question. I definitely presented a lot of like upside of all of these, but one of the things that you definitely do have to watch out for, especially still now here in early 2025, is kind of the accuracy of the content that you're getting back from any of these AI tools. There's always the possibility that they will make things up that they don't know the answer to, or in the case of generating some code snippets and stuff, you always have to take care to double check accessibility and security concerns, and make sure that whatever you're adding to your website isn't going to cause some kind of security issue down the road. So those are kind of the downsides. They're things that you can kind of deal with, but definitely stuff that you have to keep in mind when you're generating content from any of the AI tools.
Yeah, completely agree. Like ultimately, to my knowledge, most of the AI tools are just aggregating information that they find from different places in the web. So
Yep.
it is possible, and my understanding is that they try to crowdsource it so they find the most popular information, but it is possible that the AI stumbles across some inaccurate information. AI is not fact checking it necessarily, to my knowledge, but that does bring us to the next question, which is, what's the best way to fact check AI generated content?
Yeah, good question. So there are a couple of different ways that I like to do this. One of the ways is asking the tool itself directly to cite its sources, and that will, in a lot of cases, one, create some more accurate content because it thinks just a little bit harder about what it's giving you back when it's also giving you the source that it got it from. But also allows you to then check those sources to see, am I getting this back from a reputable source? Is this a source that I've heard of before going and taking that content and dumping it into your website? I also like to maybe compare a couple of AI tools with each other. So I'll take the contents from ChatGPT, the output, and like maybe I'll ask the same thing of Claude and I'll compare the answers. And if they generally have the same answer, very similar answers, then I take it a little bit more as being an accurate answer. If they come back with two totally different things, then I've got to go double check and see which one is right. Where did someone go wrong? And then there are also a couple of softwares out there, Hemingway or Quillbot, that will also do some AI fact checking for you. If you just dump the results into one of those tools, they'll give you a accuracy score.
Oh, that's awesome. The accuracy score is super helpful, because then you can kind of have an idea right off the bat of how close you are to where you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Next question is, you mentioned a handful of different AIs. Are there any specific AI plugins you recommend for WordPress websites?
Yeah, so Jetpack and Elementor are two that come to mind that have done some really cool things with AI. A lot of Jetpacks is centered around kind of modifying content and stuff within the page. Of course, I always recommend Yoast SEO AI. I mentioned that one in the presentation, but helping out with your search engine optimization is a great way for AI to help with your site. WS Form is one of the few form plugins, and the only one that I know of that will allow you to generate a form based on a prompt. So you can type in, I need a contact form with a name, email address, and a drop down list of these 4 topics, and hit enter, and it'll actually generate that form for you and saving you a whole lot of time. And then there's one called Imagine, but it's spelled IMAJINN, and it does some image generation stuff using, I think they use Dolly under the hood, which is OpenAI and ChatGPT's image generation. But that plugin will do it inline inside your WordPress site within the block editor. So you add a block, you type in your prompt, and it'll generate an image right within that block for you. So those are some other cool ones that I didn't mention in the presentation.
Nice. And I'm kind of picking up that it almost feels like there's an AI tool for specific, like a specific function, almost like plugins in WordPress, where it's like you want to generate an image, there's one or two AI engines that you should be using for that. If you want to generate ideas, there's a different one for that. If you want to generate workflows, then it's pretty cool that we're almost getting like a marketplace of AIs available to us. I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
To that end, the next question is, how can I use AI to maximize reach with my existing content?
Yeah, existing content is actually one of the best use cases for AI because you already have some stuff that you can repurpose. I think about like if you have a blog or articles in your site, taking some of those and turning them into social posts is a great thing to do. You can use them to create podcast episode outlines or video scripts, or even generating outlines and drafts for follow-up posts. So maybe you have a post that you wrote a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe some information has changed. Maybe you just want to kind of update it because new tools have come out and that sort of thing. And you can use AI to, dump that content in, say, I want to write something like this, but updated. Here's a couple of the updates I want to do, and have it spit back out either an outline or a draft for you. And you can go back through and clean that up. So there are a number of different ways that you can use existing content to kind of expand that to share in a lot of different formats. Like I said, audio for podcasts or video series and stuff. A lot of that stuff would have taken forever to generate before, and now you can kind of toss the article in and get a video script out and get right to making the video instead of spending so much time writing all of that ahead of time.
Yeah, it definitely makes things easier for sure. Okay, well, we are pretty much at time. I think we'll get one, maybe two more questions in. But before we do, I just wanted to call attention to this slide that we're on real quick. If you're looking for more resources, if you're looking for more assistance from Bluehost, here are a few different helplines that you can utilize to contact us, to partner with us in your website building journey. So please don't hesitate to reach out. We love to help you take the next step in your project, whatever that might be. So last question to end on, any tools you suggest to automate routines with WordPress maintenance using AI?
Yeah, this one was kind of interesting. I took a quick peek to see what I could find. There aren't a ton of tools that do like WordPress maintenance automation stuff yet, but I did see WP Optimize and Main WP both have a little bit of AI tooling built in to do some scheduled backups, some clearing of caches, and managing updates. And so it's doing it a little bit smarter than just set it and forget it scheduling. It'll take a look at maybe traffic on your site to determine, are people finding what they need? Do I need to clear the cache? Is this a high traffic time before deciding to do plugin and theme updates and stuff like that? So we're starting to find, some of the stuff that we've automated normally by just scheduling it, that we can now leverage AI to add, a smart component to that to say, is now the best time, or can I wait a little bit because there's some traffic happening now, or this is the high traffic time of the day historically across the last 30 days. Maybe I should wait in a few hours and then do the updates. So it's really interesting to see even like the micro enhancements that people are using AI to kind of do with the plugins, rather than just even some of the huge AI pieces where the whole plugin is about AI, right? It's just using little parts of it to say, how can I make this smarter and better and more effective?
Awesome. Yeah. And I think ultimately that's the best way to leverage AI, right? Is like, how can we just make things a little bit easier, a little bit more effective, maybe a little bit impactful, and just, I think leveraging that and building a website and populating it with content and automating some of the things around WordPress building can be super, super beneficial. So
Yep.
awesome. That brings us to time today. Thank you for bringing all of your knowledge and experience to today's webinar, Marcus. Really appreciate it. I can tell in the comments people enjoyed it as well. So thank you for that. And
Thanks for having me.
yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.